All right, you guys. Today we're going to be actually talking about some of our most embarrassing moments. Why? Yeah. I don't know. Because Lori thought it would be funny.
I don't know what I was thinking.
But it certainly has been joyful to talk about these things.
And we're also going to be drinking some wine.
Yes, we are.
We're actually recording in a different place today, so if it sounds a little echoey, then...
Well, it's because we had to come upstairs, and we're actually in this little bay window that's inside the kitchen, and there's a storm coming, and it's super windy, and we live up on the top of a mountain, so you can really hear the wind. It's pretty epic. Our editors downstairs took over our space.
Yeah, so we can't record there.
Just for the next couple days, because they're doing a big... recording session on Saturday for one of these documentaries coming out that we'll talk about when we know that's going to be released. But so we're upstairs, which we actually like it better up here. It's more light. Nice.
It's not a cave.
Yeah, it's not a cave.
It's beautiful. It's just the acoustics aren't as good. But even our next show that we're going to be podcasting, we're going to have a guest. And we're going to be sitting out here again. But I'm really excited for her because she's just fun.
Oh, man.
You guys are going to really like her.
She's a fun one. Yeah. That one is. Yeah.
We're going to do a lot of interviews with just like ordinary people. I think there's a lot of podcasts where people interview famous people and all that, but I think it'll be fun to have ordinary people with extraordinary lives.
Right. Or things that they do or just, outlooks or, you know, and it won't be all the time, but we will certainly sprinkle them through so that it's, you know, we just kind of stay up and current and have a good time.
It's going to be fun.
You're listening to Fit and Hippie with Dory and Lori. The show is about, the show that covers, the show that gets into...
Exactly!
We needed to add something to our last podcast, which was my cancer story, where we said we would talk about a blood test that would tell you if you have the type of ovarian cancer I had, which was epithelial. It's called CA-125.
Yeah, it's an important blood test.
It's an important blood test. It's one you could go ahead and ask for if you already know about it. A lot of times, even your gynecologists won't first think to do that when they're checking for things. So you could always say, hey, I have these symptoms, which we talked about the last time. Maybe you could do a CA-125, simple blood test. Normal is below 36. Mine was 2,700.
Wow, that's just unbelievable.
Off the charts.
Well, and if you, by any chance, think that that's something that you may be having symptoms of, you can ask for that blood test, and that will tell you. So it's nice to know that there is something if you feel... for any reason that you might need to get that checked out, you can get that blood test specifically.
And understand, though, it doesn't tell the whole story. Right. So sometimes it could be a little elevated and you maybe don't have cancer, but it gives them something to look for. Yeah. You know, and it's a good marker, especially for me. It's a good marker now being on this side because it's what will tell us to start looking for other things if my number starts going up.
Right.
And it bounces around. So if mine goes up, you know, right now it currently is at 9. If it goes up, you know, let's say it goes up to 20, they're not going to do anything right away. They're just going to watch it. And then the next one, if it drops back down, then that's cool. If it just, after 2 or 3 times it continues to climb, then there's going to be an issue. That's where we have to start getting a little more invasive.
Yeah. So it's a good marker for you.
It's a good marker
and
for
it's
me.
It's a good test.
It's a good test to just try.
If somebody feels like they need to have that, it's good to know what that's called.
Yes.
So we wanted to make sure we said that because we didn't say it or got left out of the last podcast that we did with Dory's story. So just wanted to give you that information if you need it. We're going to start something new.
Yes, I think we should cheers.
Yes,
so
cheers.
People can know what we're doing. Salute.
So we're going to start reviewing a bottle of wine for our podcasts. So today we're going to do a bottle. Now, this is an unusual bottle because we went to Italy and filmed for the Wine Revealed show that Jeff is doing. And it was a lot of fun. It was hard work, but it was beautiful. And being able to see, we went to probably 20 different vineyards in northwestern Italy in wine country. So this wine that we're drinking comes from one of the vineyards that we went to. And it was up on a high hill. A lot of them are up on a hill. Of course, a lot of times they grow the wine or the grapes on hills so they can terrace the vines so that they get equal sunlight.
That's interesting.
That's one reason why they terrace, so all the grapes can get the equal amount of sunlight. So the way that they're put up there. So it was beautiful to see all of those vines growing and everything. And this winery had their own like organic farm. So they had animals, they had a garden, all kinds of things.
That's way cool.
Huge, big olive trees, like old olive trees. They made their own olive oil. Their wine was really good, and it was a beautiful place, and the cellar that they stored it in was beautiful. So the name of the wine is Podere le Ripi. Actually, that's the winery. Podere le Ripi in Italian. So Podere le Ripi.
Podere le Ripi.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Amore Maggia.
Yeah, this
is the name of the wine.
And this is currently
2012.
Next to Dolfo, which we'll have to do eventually. This is currently one of my favorites.
Yeah. This is a really great wine. Now, you have to know that Dory and I are not sommeliers. We're not even close.
We don't even know the language. Like, we're sitting here trying to decide how do we describe this because, you know, I don't know. But what we are privy to is hanging around with a lot of not only wine connoisseurs, but wine collectors.
Yes.
And we're just privileged to be able to have them tell us what they're smelling and what they're tasting. And then we try to mimic that in the way that they swirl it around their tongue and splash it through their mouth and then explain things. This is more just for people like us that really enjoy wine but don't really know what the hell they're drinking.
Yeah, and we're going to do all different kinds of wine. So we're going to do a $10 bottle of wine. We might do a $20 of California and Australia, whatever. So we're going to pick a wine every time, and then we'll just tell you what it is and where it's from. Now, this bottle is about a $300 bottle in Canada. I don't know how accessible it is here in the U.S.
You would have to get a wine importer here,
probably.
which is how we get it. We have wine importers.
Well, we don't get it.
We don't get it.
Jeff gets it.
Yes, our lovely friend gets it, and
he's sharing this with us. He's sharing this bottle with us. So we're very privileged to be able to have a glass of this wine that is definitely above my budget. Right. I used to get the best wine I could for under $10. So it was kind of a game that we play.
I think there's a wine called $10 Chuck.
$2 Chuck.
$2 Chuck.
That's Trader Joe's $2 Chuck.
Yeah. And actually, it wasn't that bad.
No.
Yeah.
So you're going to not have the defining taste of a sommelier, but just a couple ladies that like to drink wine. So we'll tell you a little bit about what we think about the wine, and you can decide for yourself. Buy the wine and try it.
And you can get this wine in the UK, though. And you said it was about $150 or euro.
Yeah,
150 euro.
So, yeah, it just depends.
Yeah.
But you may, if you like to find a distinct wine that's a little rare, $200 a bottle probably isn't too bad for a wine like this. You can look for this. Podere, then LERIPI. So it's a good wine. So when we taste it, what do you taste, Dory?
When I taste this, I try to do it like our friend shows us, and I take a sip, and I kind of do this. And the reason I do that is I'm trying to find where it hits me on my palate. And where it hits me is about on my mid-tongue. And like you were saying earlier, kind of by just in the jawline, like down, you know, not real far back. But once you swallow, it's very smooth. Like, it has a little acidity, but it's not that acidic. I've had more acidic wines. It's not bitter at all, even though it is a drier wine.
It's a dry wine, and you're right. It hits you in that place on your tongue that is kind of where bitter stuff hits your tongue.
Right, in the mid.
But it's not bitter. It just kind of tingles right there, which maybe there's a description for that. I don't know what that is. But it's really, really smooth and nice. It's a lighter, I think a lighter red wine. I love the flavor and how just silky it is. It's kind of got a silky texture.
That's a really good description. And I don't know about you, but for me, it makes my mouth water.
Yeah, it
after
does.
I drink it. Yeah. It's like, okay, now I'm kind of thirsty, where some some dry wines actually dry your mouth out, and that's why you want to drink more. This does not want to be just slammed down. Like this is a very much, even though all wines should be sipping wines, but this is definitely more for sipping. Like right now, my mouth is really wet, and even after I, just drank it, or took a sip of it, a minute or so ago, I still have this floral kind of flavor up at the top of my roof of my mouth from it. Yeah. And again, not an expert. I would love to hear what our friend Marco would say about it and be like, oh, that's all wrong. You've got it wrong.
Yeah. Hey, if you happen to have this wine, you're some sort of wine collector and you have this wine, tell us what you think about it.
Yeah, get on our website.
Describe it to us. Yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise, maybe you can get a bottle of this. I think you'll really like it. If you like red wine, you like a drier wine, but not too dry, and something really silky smooth, this is a beautiful wine from Italy. As a matter of fact, he may have just gotten this bottle when we were in Italy.
Well, why don't you read on the bottle what it says? There was a cute little saying. And then also, doesn't it have a description of it on the wine?
No, there's no description on the bottle, but it says, nature is magic. Mankind can make the magic only by investing love in his actions. I love that.
So this winery was pretty much self-sustaining, right?
It was very self-sustaining.
Yes. And so, with, you think of things like that where you have the farm animals there that creates a type of sustainability with the plants. It's a total ecosystem. Yeah. And then you have the bees that are going to come and pollinate. And then, all those, just the soil itself is going to be so much healthier and richer, mainly because they have farm animals, period.
And that's, they use that a lot for fertilization and stuff. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. It was...
As you can tell, I didn't get to go.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Tori didn't get to go.
I had to stay home and take care of the dog that was not well.
Abby wasn't doing well.
Abby was sick.
Stay with Abby.
But I have been to Italy before, not to there. I will certainly probably be going.
This would be a great winery to visit if you're ever in Italy. It's a Tuscany winery. I think it'd be worth going to see. It was beautiful.
So that being said, we're going to drink our Podere le Ripe.
Or Amore in Magia or something like that.
And this is a 2012, by the way.
Yeah.
So remember... Wines in Italy, they're going to have bad years and good years. Unlike a lot of the wines that we're going to get here, where they European engineer them to taste the same every time.
Right.
So they're allowed to put chemicals in your wine. Like one of my favorite wines used to be, and I can't drink it anymore. Well, maybe I could, but it's Apothic Red, for example.
Yeah. I do love that wine.
I liked that wine a lot. I love J. Lore is another one that I really liked, which we may review those. But what I'm saying is a lot of those wines, regardless of the year, it's going to taste the exact same. Some of these are not going to taste the same. So this 2012 is wonderful, but who knows what the 2014 tastes like? Or
well, and even in Italy, one hill to another hill of grapes can make a totally different wine because of the way it might rain on one hill more than another. And so the wine on that hill is going to taste totally different than the wine on the other hill. And that's how all these wineries and these vineyards are very close together. And they can get different wines from different vineyards that live and work and grow in the same region because the different hills have a different weather system, ecosystem for weather.
It's kind of like, when you have your children and you really love one child, so you feed them more and they grow bigger and stronger, and the other child, you just don't so much. Wine grapes to a wine maker would be like their children. On this hill, this gets all the sun. These are going to be my best ones. And these are where the naughty grapes go. And so we're not going to give them as much attention.
Sometimes just the different vineyards, the different wineries have vineyards on different hills. So one winery might be on one hill and another winery on another hill. And they're in the same region, but they have different wine.
Yeah.
So, and even maybe the same kind of grapes, because different regions grow the same type of grapes.
That's awesome.
How it is.
That's awesome.
It's very cool. I learned so much and just enjoyed myself immensely. It was a lot of hard work, and it was really hot. It was July and August, but it was beautiful. We wanted to go from here and just give a few stories of our most embarrassing moments. Just maybe for a little laugh.
Eek.
Maybe you can relate to this yourself. And we kind of wrestled around with it because, embarrassing moments are embarrassing. So even to talk about them sometimes is like,
Well, I don't know about you, but I've never had an embarrassing moment. I'm perfect. Everything I do is great.
Oh my. I'm the person to walk out of the bathroom with toilet paper on their shoe. Or, I mean, I have spoken once in front of a church and my zipper was undone or, whatever. That's like, yeah, those things happen pretty naturally.